Did Chinese Olympic swimmers take a banned performance-enhancing drug, and did the World Anti-Doping Agency look the other way? Oof. Let's walk it back. Last month, we learned that almost 24 Chinese Olympic athletes had been accused of doping after testing positive for a heart-related drug called TMZ that's also a banned performance-enhancing substance. They tested positive a few months before the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, where they won several gold medals. After these Chinese athletes tested positive, the Chinese government claimed that the swimmers must have inadvertently consumed the drug through their food, since their kitchen was found contaminated with it, which is confusing since I've never encountered banned performance-enhancing drugs in my oatmeal. So the World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, believed them, of course, and allowed the athletes to compete a few months later. But people noticed, and you know what else they noticed? That China gave $2 million above its yearly requirements to WADA programs, which WADA says is totally unrelated to its clearing of the athletes who tested positive. Did China give you that talking point? Of the 23 Chinese swimmers who were involved, 11 are now headed to the games in Paris. But the story's not over. Senator Van Hollen, who's in charge of the subcommittee that provides U.S. funding to WADA, wanted answers before more funding is given, especially since the U.S. gives more money to WADA than any other nation. So he held a hearing in June where major U.S. swim champions Michael Phelps and Allison Schmidt testified to share their experiences during these games. And they talked about the extremely high standards to which they're held to regularly prove they aren't doping and how those standards are not applied consistently around the world. And an independent investigation reviewed how WADA handled the whole thing, and WADA was kind of freed of any guilt so far. Even though in the annex of the report, the investigator noted that 2 top scientists at WADA had difficulty believing China's claims. One of them said he doubted the feasibility of the kitchen contamination theory because no one was found to be taking this drug among the kitchen or hotel staff. But because there was no hard proof, WADA felt it had no choice but to believe China. To add to the absurdity, this report isn't even finalized. In fact, the whole thing won't come out until after the French Olympics, in which some of the accused swimmers will be competing. And so the problem is that WADA's lack of transparency and accountability makes them hard to trust, which undermines the games, and that's WADA's fault. Olympic gold medalist Lily King said it best when she said, "I'm not confident when I get up on the blocks that the people to my right and my left are clean."